Hello, everybody. This is Johnny S. with another game review. Today, we're going to review a game called Undecember. Um, this is another hack and slash ARPG type of a game, top-down isometric view. It is not as a popular game in in other games of its type, let's say, of its category. But nevertheless, it is a very nice game. It is not the best, I will say, in its area, but it is very nice. If I'm not mistaken, this is a free to play game, so you can download it from Steam, uh, and you can play it straight away. There's not a lot of pay to win elements on the game. Actually, there's no pay to win elements on the game, but it's more ease of life, let's say, that you can purchase additional things, whether those things might be pets or things that will help you along your gameplay. So let's start with December. We have selected our server here, and we're going to start. We're situated in Europe at the moment, so hence Europe. Will take some time to load. It's an online game. You can play with friends. You can party up, similar to other games like Diablo and so forth. I have not spent a lot of time into this game, but quite a bit to understand and know what's happening. I have only created one character and it's level 86. I think the maximum level is 100 at the moment, and this is what my character looks like. So if I select him, there's a small animation here which shows his outfit. You can customize this in game without actually paying extra money. So I went for a green look on this character. Once you create a character, you can save multiple ones, obviously, and once you create them, you can choose, how to fight with your character, what weapons to have, what skills to use. So you're not really limited per character in your class. But once you do select your character and you aim towards a specific game style, then you are limited within the sense that if you want to change totally, you have to respec and re-level components, gems, skills, and so forth. Uh, it's an interesting game. It's a very nice game. Good graphics. It's a medium tier graphic, let's say, game in comparison to the competition. Nice graphics, nice sound, good animations, good game feel to it. So the action is quite, nice. Let's start up so we can actually go in game. You can see what it looks like. Very good art design. So we just entered. It loads quite quickly. That's another thing that I noticed. There's not a lot of delays in comparison to other games that I might have a little bit more loading time. So yeah, this is Undecember. It's I know that I've been making a lot of games which are ARPG. Some people have told me, why aren't you making some other games? There will be other games to come. It's not only ARPG that I'm playing. It's to tell you the truth, as I grow older, I prefer more simple games. So it's not a lot of like graphical things happening, going crazy. A top-down perspective is more of a casual game. You know what I mean for me. Usually, I might play 1 to 2 hours a day, or instead of playing, I might make some content now that I've started the YouTube channel to make reviews, of the games. So it's a more relaxing type of game, and you can play it at your own pace. I don't have many sort of social buddies, let's call them, that I play games with. So usually I play them by myself, and therefore I choose games that can be played in solo mode. And usually I play games that you can go in and you can dedicate like from a 15 minutes of playing to like 1 hour and go back out and everything. This is one of the reasons why I prefer this type of games. But there's other games that I've played in the past when I was younger, especially. And depending on if I get a chance, I will go through and create reviews for them as well. So the looks of the game is very nice, as can be seen. There's good graphics at the moment. The settings are medium to high that I'm using on a medium setup system, and it can handle quite good. So if you move around, there's no breakage, there's no FPS loss. This is our character. you can see the screen. It has the usual, right hand side overlay. This is our level and our character icons. There's menus at the top. You can select different elements. At the bottom, you see your life, your energy, your resource, and you have your different skills. One thing that I would like to showcase on this game, which is unique and very interesting and nice, and a little bit complex as well, is the skills. So if you go to the skill page, this is the skills that I'm using at the moment. So it's interesting because you have no other game has done this before, and it's a very good. That's why sometimes it's good to review more than one type of game. Let's say for on my behalf, I think the best game of ARPG hack and slash is Path of Exile. That's my personal opinion. That's my favorite game that I play. But obviously, I'm not going to play only that game. It's good to stray a little bit further from what your comfortable zone is and what your favorite thing is and experience other components. And then you have, a better understanding of how different ideas, how they can be implemented in the game. You might see something and you will say, yeah, this is not going to work well on, another game, or this is a good idea that might also be able to be transferred to a different game. So one of the nice mechanics that the developers have thought about here is you have this kind of strange looking hexagon sort of design here. One of your skills is, for example, this one here. So you can socket these skills on any plot point you want, and as you can see, some of the squares are locked. You can slowly unlock additional squares, and this is your main skill that you're using, and around it, you have up to six different support gems that you can put. So at the moment, there's one gem here, one and one. So there's four gems that I've got, and there's space for another two that I can put. Obviously, where you put your skills dictates if you have access to them. For example, this skill here, because it's at the top, I've only connected two, and I only have another two free. How you connect these skill gems is you have to customize this to have a light area here, and the color dictates what color the gem is. So because there's a green line here, I can only put green gems here. Because there's a blue line here, I can only put a blue gem here. How many of these areas are colored in, and how and what colors they are, you can slowly craft your skill gems to change it. The way that I play this build is basically I'm using the whirlwind, which is very common in this type of games. If you've played an ARPG before, whirlwind is one of the basic skills. You basically spin around as you move along and you kill enemies. The interesting thing with this build is that this is not my damaging skill. So I am, yes, whirling around. I have a couple of supports onto it, so it helps my channeling, it helps my attack speed, and it gives me regeneration when I touch enemies. So I get life back when I touch enemies with my whirlwind. But the main damage here is coming from this skill here, which is a toxic flame. It's a green toxic ball which fires from your character. That's why I also colored my character green, because toxic green, so forth. So this skill here is a triggering spell activation while channeling. So whilst I'm channeling, I only have to press one button to channel, and automatically I am triggering this skill here. Now this skill here, if you have a look, I have invested much more onto it. So it's level 38 at the moment in comparison to level 1. This is just a triggering skill. This one you're trying to get as high as possible to cause as much damage as possible. I have six links around it, so the six sides, and they are full the correct colors, and there are five damage, let's say, gems and one triggering gem. So this is kind of like a full-on setup, let's say. What type of damage it is? It is poison, and it is damage over time. So this one is poison penetration. This one is additional poison damage, obviously. This is spell damage because toxic flame is a spell. You can actually buff up the damage with the spell damage increase. This is damage over time, or also called dot. And this is deadly poison, which additionally poisons enemies further. And once you have your main setup like this, you try to fit on the board whatever other support like gems you have. At the moment, I am using in total one active skill with a hidden triggered skill. I have a movement skill, which is a leap attack. It helps me move around the stage, and I have a couple of additional sort of defensive and offensive skills. So seal of condensed elements causes me to make more damage. This also causes me to deal more damage. And this is a defensive, which gives me life back in case something goes wrong. So this is one of the things that I wanted to mention. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. You have seen, people have seen similar games as such. This is your inventory. These are the weapons that you're holding with different stats. There is a zodiac, let's say, there's a star chart here where you can actually dedicate points. At the moment, I have not dedicated anything, but slowly you unlock the stars, and this is like additional damages and specific things that you do. Your main stats, as most common, is strength, intelligence, dexterity. In order for you to equip one of these skills, you need specific things. So if you look at the bottom right hand side here, it says on the bottom of the description, it says intelligence 263. So in order for me to use this skill on level 38, I have to have 263 intelligence, meaning that I have to put 263 points here. So if you click here, you can see your points and you can add or remove. And they tell you, and it also shows what you know. The way that I've built it is I've got intelligence for my damage and strength for the defensive, gives me armor and health. At the moment, we have 0 points. We have allocated everything. Um, so let's go. This is the end town, by the way. That's another thing that I forgot to mention. This is your stash, so you can go here and you can create additional tabs here, and you can store your different items. Um, you can go and here is the end game. It is a little bit laggy because it's loading the area. Once it loads, it's quite smooth. And because this town has a lot of players here, so you see these guys here, there's other non-NPC, human players that are playing the game. The chaos statue is a central area here where you trigger the end game content, which are like maps of Path of Exile. I keep on referring to Path of Exile because it's a point of reference. A lot of players have played, and I personally, it's one of my favorite games. So this is why I go back and forth. We're not going to trigger anything specific. We'll keep the video short. I'm just going to show a little bit of the gameplay, what it looks like. And I have a little pet that is following me, if you have noticed. And the purpose of this little pet here is that it's going to follow and pick up the loot. So let's go to a waypoint, and we can have a look at the map here. So you start on episode 1, and you go through the acts. So there's an act 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas, and different maps which connect as you're playing the campaign. At the end of each of these episodes, there's a big boss. It is a little bit challenging. That's something that I would like to mention, but there's a lot of good community around this game. So because I was stuck on Act 5 on the last boss, I actually contacted someone in the game, which I did not know. I asked everybody in the chat, guys, can somebody help me pass, this boss because he's really difficult? And somebody straight away within like 5 minutes said, yes, I'm free, I can help you. So there's an active community which you can interact with. You have episode 2, which consists of another 5 acts. You have episode 3, and at the moment we are on act 13. So I have not unlocked this. This is what it looks like when it's unlocked. You get these little flags, which means you have completed it. It shows you the monster level, which is on this area. So if you go in previous areas, it's smaller monster level. And on Act 13, what I can do is I can go to the start city. And this is pretty much where I can go. Uh, let's travel to this place here just to showcase. So you click move and it will teleport you to the area. Sorry. So this is what the game looks like. We're ready for combat at the moment. By holding right mouse button, I'm going to spin, and my spin is going to cause the toxics to come out. So spinning, and there's these flames that go out. The nice thing with those flames is they will automatically target enemies. So it's not exactly homing, but it goes towards the direction of where you're hitting, and they will break objects as well. So the nice thing with this game is you can spin around, a lot of things go out, they attack enemies, and you can keep on moving. Because it's a damage over time build, the enemies will slowly die behind. So if I, let's do this, and I move away, if you can see the enemies slowly, they're losing life. So you don't have to sit there and hit. My pet is going to pick up all the items for me. And you can actually hit them also. You can move through the enemies. That's another good thing. I'm losing a little bit of life here. And if you pay attention, like these items that fall on the ground, they will get automatically picked by my pet. So this is a nice thing because you can move away. And, there's some elite monsters which take a little bit more time to die. My movement skill is this here, so it's a leap. That's how I get around. You have the overlay, like in most games. So this map, you can see that I've got a couple of quests. This is where I was up to. Let's move around, kill some enemies. If you do not have a pet, you have to manually go and pick items from the floor. And there's many items on the floor, which means you're going to spend a lot of time, which makes the whole game progression a little bit slower. This is one of the things that I have spent some in-game currency to actually purchase a pet because it makes life easier. So, like I said, it's not a pay-to-win game, but there's some things that you do need to purchase if you're considering or dedicating quite some time to this game because it will make your life easier. So I can literally move off the screen, and my pet is going to pick everything. There's also a huge reset which has happened at the moment. Therefore, my damage is not what it's meant to be. Because I have every season that finishes, it resets your passives. So basically, what I did just to showcase this video is I went to my zodiac tree. I selected here and I dedicated the points in order for me to be able to equip my weapons. If you pay attention, for example, this weapon at the bottom, it says it needs 193 strength. So today, when I first logged into the game, it's been a while since I've played this game. I just wanted to make a review on it. It's been possibly like maybe 6 months since I've last played this game. All these items, I could not equip them. They were in my inventory because everything was reset. So my zodiac when I went to the tree, it was the base, which is like 10, 10, 10. So I had to allocate these points. But there's other things on the zodiac tree. For example, at the moment, if you pay attention, we have unlocked this area. So if I click on this area here, there's additional things that you can put, which I have not done. So this build is much stronger, and it's obviously not end game. I'm on level 86. There's more areas I have not played Act 13. The games are very nice. The game camera is fixed, so you cannot zoom in and out. Yeah, and I highly recommend this game. It's a nice game. Not many people know about this game. Undecember, strange name, I know. But yeah, very nice game. I suggest you pick it up for yourself. It is free to play, like I said before, so get your hands on the game, experience it, and yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Bid you goodbye.